the confidence against that. Maybe they haven't played against much Kog'Maw, and they realize maybe these games are potentially going late. Maybe Azubu Frost is just trying to pick better late game comps, and Kog'Maw is one of the best late game AD carries. That's could just be the laning, could just be TPA has a very strong Kog'Maw lane. It is a curious ban, and the Rapid Star could have picked Anivia there, but it looks like they're going to go for Ezreal.
Again,
I expect TPA to take away Sona if they have Ezreal. They might not want to have that synergy. The team fight crescendos were very, very heavy.
Yeah, surely they cannot allow it. So same bans, I think, of last game, yes? No, Nidalee
The
wasn't
Nidalee
banned.
is a new ban.
Yeah, Nidalee is a new ban. So it hasn't been locked in yet, though, Ezreal. See if they do choose it. I'd be surprised. I mean, Woong does like Ezreal. Corki, of course, is available. Something you highlighted earlier on has that slight advantage. But Ezreal has pretty much been the pick of the tournament that everybody has favored. Hasn't had the best win rate, though.
He was 100% pick ban, actually, up until the semifinals, where the teams did go away from him. So both of these guys realized they have the ability to play against Ezreal. Ezreal's kind of a luxury for these teams. They like having him, but he's not game-changing. And I think that is going to be a Sona that they get in to avoid that synergy. And I actually don't know what TPA is going to go for here, because they had a split push comp with Nidalee. But with that being banned out, they do have to be forced to almost group up unless Stanley has something else he can pull out that he's able to split push with. Azubu Frost liked all the 5v5 team fights in the last game, and they might be trying to force that type of composition again.
Remember, we did see Lux support. We've seen Zyra support. We've seen many different supports from Mad Life, not forgetting Alistair available, one of his favorite champions. We saw him picking up a couple of kills, and there is the Sona pick, along with Lil Balls taking Mundo. Definitely an interesting pick, and immediately Rapid Star gonna take up Anivia. Obviously, we saw toys with Anivia last time. Rapid Star, we mentioned it in the start, he went from level 10 to 2,200 elo on Anivia alone.
He's the Korean Froggen in a lot of ways for Anivia, and known like that on the Korean servers. Lil Balls only had victories on Maokai and Mundo this time. He had his first loss with Maokai in the last game, switching it up, saying, I'm just going to go with Mundo here, trying to keep his undefeated record going. I would expect that Anivia to be locked in. They don't want, well, they want the comfort from Rapid Star and the control, especially after a Mundo pick. They can wall him off, they can stun him. Mundo has to walk straight into fights, so he's very easy to kite around if you have something like an Anivia. And they could be going for a very mobile comp if they go with these two picks. And that could just be on top of it. They might just be looking for global map presence and mobility.
So Shen being switched, and it is going to be Maokai locked in. And that is going to be Cloud Templar, very happy that he's got his tree back. And it could be a Caitlyn poke alongside Sona. That works well. The Piltover Peacemaker, it's just as good as the Mystic Shot.
And these guys are actually taking their time with picks and bans. We've seen some much faster champion selects in the previous rounds. There's a lot of discussion going down, and TPA coming out, the unconventional AD carries, Caitlyn lock in, and we could see a Twisted Fate. Not sure, I haven't seen TPA play a Twisted Fate yet in this tournament. It's majorly just been banned out because Messiah from Team WE was so good at it. This would be their nothing to lose strategy, all in early, trying to gank other lanes. But they're just sitting on these picks, they're really talking it over, or they're just trying to mind game the enemy.
Well, Toys isn't talking at all right there on your camera. He is switching to a Kassadin. What's he thinking of? He goes for Karthus. It's a
mirror matchup from what we saw last time, but different players on it. So even though, this will be very telling because Toys outlaned Rapid Star, Anivia versus Karthus last time, and then Rapid Star came in with the team fights on Karthus. It'll really be Toys' time to display his skill if he can outlane him again and prove that it's not just a champion matchup thing. But they like the matchup back and forth, and that Zyra support would be huge. Going again for the heavy AoE team comps, nothing better than that gigantic knock-up ultimate from Zyra.
And Vladimir looking like he's going to be the top lane as well. And he's going to be picked up for Shy. We're just waiting to see whether it gets locked in, as it is. How would you build against this? I mean, we've seen the lane switching around. Ooh, Janna could come out there. Alistair may be coming out along with Singe. Let's see.
They're just toying with us right now, trying to go back and forth.
No, they're discussing it. I mean, you can see Cloud Templar, he's having a discussion. He's talking to his team. He's like, which do they feel is better? And Jax was being left available for Shy.
Oh.
And they've locked it in. It's going to be Zyra and Jax. We're going to get to see Shy's amazing Jax play. How will it work? And more importantly, what will Stanley counter it with?
And this is curious because they have so much AoE, and then they just have a Jax, who's an all-in champion, and they're just going to try to dive heavily onto BB, but he has to dive through Toys' Karthus, and it could be really dangerous for them. It's really going to be about them trying to get AoE damage onto everyone, and then have Woong and Shy for cleanup, because they'll stay so safe in the back. The Caitlyn pick has to tell us something, though. Are they going for heavy poke? Are they going to just destroy the lane? Because last game, they had the Vayne Lulu that lane right up against Sona Ez, and nothing's a stronger AD carry laner than Caitlyn. They might just be looking for a fast push strategy, maybe globals, and Stanley's been on Shen in the past here. Man, the last time they picked Karthus Shen, they did lose the game. That's both of these teams 0 for 1 with that composition, but they're going for it again. This is their nothing to lose strat. It's going to be pretty big for them.
Well, there's a lot of global play in there, of course, with the Karthus and the Shen ultimate. They're going to be diving down. They could multiple pile on, certainly the bottom lane or top lane, wherever they choose to go, especially with BB in play. We saw it very aggressive early on. How do you match these up?
And this is going to be a lot about early ganks coming out from Cloud Templar versus the early laning from TPA. That Caitlyn Sona lane, super high poke, is going to decide so much of this game. If they can obliterate Woong and get him out of the game, that's what they'll need to do. And the team fights, of course, coming up from Karthus, trying to get back the errors they made last game.
So, ladies and gentlemen, we're about to get underway. It is going to be game 2. Azubu Frost 1-0 up. If you would like to see them take a second game and clean sweep 2-0 into a possible 3-0, give them a cheer, ladies and gentlemen. Azubu Frost.
Now heading into game 2, TPA down 0-1. They need to win 3 of the next 4. If you want to see them take game 2, let them hear you.
So as we get into the game, there you see the stage, there you see the Summoners Cup. That is what they are playing for. Very sparkly, and I can assure you it is also very heavy. It's a pretty huge thing as we are getting the game underway. So Taipei Assassins coming into this next match, they are 1-0 down. They have picked up the Karthus Shen ult combo. How do you feel these team comps, how will they stack up as things get underway?
It's going to be about frontline control for TPA. Last game they had a very hard time getting to the targets they wanted to. It's going to be hard to get through the Zyra. She's very hard to run at. Again, Azubu Frost might have the teamfight edge, and TPA just has to win laning and mid-game harder. That's what they've done in the past. They've ended games very early on, and all 5 members of Azubu Frost getting slightly spotted out there. They're going aggressive level 1. TPA trying to hold this off. They do have a defensive formation. They're actually all grouped up around here. They have a ward on their blue buff. They're worried about Azubu's level 1, and they might just try to do something sneaky.
So Azubu Frost stood on top of a ward at the moment, so Taipei Assassins know exactly where they are. There goes the sapling showing Taipei Assassins in the bush. If you have just joined us, ladies and gentlemen, Azubu Frost 1-0 up as the blue side against Taipei Assassins as the red side. Currently, the Invades seem to have backed off. Everybody has gone back their own way. Taipei Assassins still lingering though. We see Cloud Templar backing away. Cloud Templar teleporting off.
Yeah, and that was actually because he used so much of his mana scouting with his saplings, he had to go back to base if he wanted to have mana for his jungle, especially since it looks like they're starting red buff. He'll need to have mana left for his blue if they go for an invade. They did place that ward early, which tells me they might want to see a delayed invade possible, but it could get countered by the fact there's 2 wards on that blue buff. There's a lot of pings going down here, and it does seem to me that Azubu Frost has something kind of sneaky planned here. We'll see if they are able to execute it.
And Toy's taking away the major Wraith there. Very nicely done. As a level 1, getting that steal in. Took a bit of damage for his troubles. Is he going to go for a lane change though? He is heading south. This could be a Karthus down the bottom, or is he just going to go for the blue? I'm not too sure whether he's going to help out.
Oh, and this is actually a fast push mid strategy. We know they like taking the mid tower first early, and they're going to have Sona Caitlyn trying to 1v2 up against them, but they're counter switching, trying to get Rapid Star into a 1v2 against Toys. That's an extremely dangerous lane for both of them, and the ganks are going to be extremely impactful. But TPA, even with this matchup, should still win the mid lane. It's going to be a bit of a farm off though, and there'll be a lot of attention paid to that bottom lane since both those guys are extremely vulnerable to ganks.
So nothing coming in the jungles, but all going on in the lanes. Let's have a look, and you can see Lil Ball's picking up the blue buff. He's going to take it, and Taipei Assassins immediately switching things up. They're going to try and come around the backside of Rapid Star. Rapid Star maybe spotting it. He's going to back straight off, puts the ward in that tri-bush, and you can see Sona coming around. Going to have that poke. Stanley taken down very low by Shy there. Meanwhile, down the bottom, if we can just get a glimpse of Sona. Sona taking some damage from Rapid Star, and again, the lanes trying to change their dynamic, and Carthus has gone back to the middle.
They're trying to swap really quickly here, and Lowball's actually sitting around at the Dragon. I think he's just trying to catch Mad Life warding, and he might get him with a cleaver.
He's got a cleaver on him, he's flashed in, he gets exhausted instantly by Mad Life, but they're going to turn him down. That's going to be first blood, and it's BB that picks it up once again, and now Carthus is heading north. He's actually going for the Wraiths, I'll tell a lie, but he used the teleport to get back in towards that mid lane.
And this is what TPA needed, jumping out at the start of this game. Woong trying to get punished. The back and forth lane swaps, TPA was ready for him. Amazing play by Lowballs there. He knew the patterns of supports and knew that once they swapped lanes, they had to get wards in the river. As soon as Mad Life walked for that, he was able to catch him out with the cleaver. And that was, again, a brilliant gank play by Lowballs. He did that in the first game as well. And he might give his bottom lane the huge advantage it needs.
Yeah, Woong being zoned out a little bit here by mistake. Level 2 versus BB at level 3 already. Going to try and keep him down. Of course, that wave will get pushed in towards the tower, so there's only so much they can try and zone him. We do see Cloud Templar coming around just above. Is he going to be able to sneak through that tri-bush? I'm pretty sure there was a ward that went down in that bush earlier on. Yes, it is. They've just passed straight by that ward, and the sapling goes down. Mistake just clearing that one out. And that will get reset the lanes. Let's take a look at this top lane. We can see Lil Ball's heading there right now. Jax versus Shen.
And Shy does not have any wards here, but he's positioned fairly defensively in his lane. They might end up burning a flash here, but he senses something. Stanley gave a bit of a tell. He pushed up where he wouldn't normally, and Shy's playing very carefully here. Lowball's now going back down. His Wraith's completely getting sacrificed for Toys, and going into that mid lane, this is Toys' crazy laning skills coming into play again. 34 minions to 18 of Rapid Star. That lane swapping, he was one step ahead, and it gave him an early lead. Now he's just trying to punish Rapid Star with it.
The clever player Cloud Templar there, you can see throwing a sapling at the wolves. He's trying to get the timers going down, trying to keep the position of Lil Balls. We know that he's at the top there, just taking the golems. He's going to come around. Shy is just going to get pushed against his tower. Instead, Lil Balls looking like he may go for the invade of his own. He heads down towards the middle. We can see Cloud Templar just stepping off at the side there, trying to go towards Toys. Toys, of course, very vulnerable as Lil Balls going for the wolves, and they're both counter-invading each other's wolves.
They're just both trying to get scouting information, and they are right on top of each other, same level. Lowball's going with his Doran Shield Mundo build once again. Very effective in the previous games. And even just Stanley's aggression in the top lane is keeping him in it. Oftentimes Jax can be very aggressive trades 1v2, but he sensed Lowballs was there, and it's allowed Shen to push up the tower. Now Lowball's trying to gank around Rapid Star. And Cloud Templar again trying to get bottom. He got spotted out by the end of that ward. Lowball's just trying to zone Rapid Star at a mid.
Yeah, he stepped onto a trap, actually, I think it was. Straight on Caitlin's trap. Rapid Star immediately aware. So they know the jungler's positions. They're going to try and counter this one. Taipei Assassins getting poked off this heavily here on this bottom lane. Wound doing a lot of damage down on towards Mistake there. Mad Life again, the poke from these two. How do you rate these two lanes between them? I mean, obviously we've seen the Ezreal Sona, so it's the power in that lane, but Caitlyn Sona versus Zyra Ezreal.
And this is that support Zyra that Azubu Frost actually were the first ones to play. Mad Life, a lot of experience on it. It's all about the team fighting phase, but you can actually get extremely aggressive with Zyra in the lane. Mistake wants to be high, heavy, and strong with the poke, but BB gets caught up by the root. You can see the aggression that comes down. 2 plants getting spawned, and BB getting zoned out right away.
Getting pushed heavily there, and Mad Life managing to put a lot of damage down on him, forcing him back. Is he going to go back off? Yes, he will. He's going to have to buy. He will not be able to stick around. Of course, Sona had gone back. We are seeing the top lane trading blows as well. Jack's down to about half health there. And Toys now heading south. Are they going to go for invaders? Is it just going to be simply be the Wraiths, or are they going to
try a 4-man gank down at the bottom here? You can see that Azubu Frost had pushed up, and since BB went back to base, you thought maybe they were going to try a tower push, but they're also playing conservatively, and they had to walk back out. They decided against that one. Lowball's spending a lot of time trying to counter-invade and create things. He's falling a bit behind for himself. He's only level 4 at 7 minutes, and giving a level or experience edge to Cloud Templar's Maokai could be dangerous. Every time Cloud Templar's had a level advantage on an enemy jungler, he's pushed it really, really hard. And if they get some kind of successful gank, it could be very dangerous for TPA.
Yeah, and in the middle we're seeing a huge CS advantage already building by Toys. Toys 63 to 42, so a 20 CS difference. And the top lane, Stanley versus Shy, there's a 10 CS difference there. Stanley's starting to build a lead as well. So these lanes actually going out quite well for Taipei Assassins. You can see that reflected in the gold advantage already built up.
And this is what they need because Azubu Frost has went with a very strong AoE team fight, late game team, and TPA is a lot more about laning. Karthus is the kind of the other thing that will be their late game insurance if they can get there, but for the most part this is a composition revolving around early game pressure, and that's what they're applying right now. They've got the one early kill, but mainly just outlaning. 1,500 gold advantage is very high for this point in the game, and they are keeping the pressure down on everyone from Azubu Frost across the map.
Toy's picking up the blue buff for himself. Rapid Star yet to go across, but Cloud Tempo will pull it. Down that bottom lane, Woong you can see with that double Dorans against the single Dorans and Vampiric Scepter for BB. BB trying to continue that poke with Mistake's help, and they're going to get a couple of hits on the tower, the first few hits for the bottom lane, so neither team able to really fast push either turrets. The top lane I think seems to be the one where the turret may go, because you can see Shy being very aggressive on it.
And I really just have to hand it to Toys in the mid lane here, because last game he was substantially ahead of Rapid Star with the opposite matchup, and now he's just 34 minions ahead, Karthus versus Anivia. He is outplaying Rapid Star for the most part in this matchup. Rapid Star trying to get in for the race, but Toys is just completely keeping them for himself. He's going to be the fed Karthus here, and if they can turn the team fights around on Azubu Frost, like what happened to them last game, they'll be in good shape, especially with how strong they're laning.
Yeah, and of course he's been stealing away Rapid Star's rates as well, so he's getting a grand share of both lanes. As it is, remember he had the use, did you start off down that bottom, did use the teleport, he has got that teleport available should it require it later in the team fights, something that Azubu Frost do not have, not to mention of course you've got Stanley's ultimate that can get himself in there. Bottom lane, there's Toys, now he's taking away the Wolves. Is he leaving anything for Lil Balls? Lil Balls meanwhile in the top lane is forcing the pressure on towards Shy, does keep him back there, and that's going to be a lane push from Lil Balls, which I'm not sure if Stanley's going to be quite happy with that.
I think they're okay. They're trying to create a lot of pressure onto Shy, and this is Lil Balls' and TPA's overall team strategy. Because they're giving so much farm to Toys, they don't want Moongo to fall behind, which means he does have to leech experience from other sources. He is about going for lanes. He's level 7, which means he isn't behind despite getting everything for Toys. It's actually much more efficient when 2 members get experience in lanes than just one. With that just push, he's put himself ahead of Cloud Templar, which is extremely important since we talked about it earlier.
Yeah, and again, that mid lane, it's just the advantage continues as the crowd still cheers those ward kills. Of course, the Oracle's now been bought, picked up by Cloud Templar. They're clearing out that mid lane. Lil Ball's not quite with that Oracle yet. Got to be careful he doesn't walk straight into it. Here comes the ultimate. It's actually the capital. So where is it going? Is it just pressure on Mad Life? Are they just trying to force the turret here? You can see BB immediately with that wave, trying to put as much pressure down as possible. Not exactly sure where that ultimate came out though.
They're just trying to push down the turret. They're making it not appealing for Azubu Frost to stay there in fear of dying. It forced Mad Life to go back, and it forced Cloud Templar to run to the bottom lane, which essentially makes them safe from ganks. They're just trying to push down this turret as fast as possible. They want to get out of this lane and apply their pressure elsewhere. A little confusing on the use of that ult, but I'm pretty sure it was about the fast push.
Yeah, Shy also taking some damage. Cloud Templar was forced to go down there, and there was half the health stripped off that turret. So on that regards, it definitely worked out, but it's a little confusing when we're closing in on the Dragon fight, potentially coming in a minute or two's time. So it's 180 seconds on that cooldown. Stanley just getting stunned out with a counter strike from Shy there, and you can see already Empowered Strike doing a bit of damage to Stanley. And you know, despite the fact that even in the farm, a Fed Jax will be a very, very dangerous thing late game.
And this is something Stanley does on Shen. He'll get the Cage's lucky pick as well as the Heart of Gold. He really just likes to get to the late game and make sure he's extremely powerful with all that split push. He had an early edge on Shy, but I think because he went with that double GP10 as Low Balls takes out another ward, he's getting bullied a bit by Shy, and that's why Shy's been able to sit up and camp him in that top lane. It is dangerous if Shy's able to force a team fight before Stanley gets his items. Azubu Frost would have an edge off of that. But Toys still farming, still stealing rates, 124 to 94. Both teams with Oracles now just taking down each other's wards.
It is a battle for wards. Many wards died on the Saturday, and it's been reflected in the crowd's appreciation. It is all across the map, which also, of course, means there's not really going to be anything coming from this because they are completely spotting each other's positions out. Of course, Requiem will be available in about 30-40 seconds time. So let's see if Taipei Assassins do try and push something on this bottom turret. We are coming up to 12.5 minutes, so they want to take this first turret down as much as they can, and of course then turn things onto the Dragon. Taipei Assassins definitely appear to be the team trying to push the pace on Azubu Frost.
And this is something that TPA may have taken from Team WE. You can see Low Balls is just down there trying to pressure the lane, making Azubu Frost react to them, and that's why Cloud Templar just spent his entire game walking around and hoping Low Balls ganks and tries to counter gank. Will they walk into one here? He's coming up for Rapid Star, trying to land a cleaver. Rapid Star looks like he's just going to walk away.
Toy's taking a bit of damage there, but you can see that he's 40 CS ahead of Rapid Star in that mid, and that is a big, big difference, considering they've effectively been 1v1 throughout it with 0 help from the junglers. How is that gold laid? You can see the gold stacking. It is a small difference. Wow, it's a lie, it's a 700 gold difference. That's a pretty huge difference in the grand scheme of things. And more importantly, BB is leading once again as the AD carry.
And this is across the board. They are out farming. Even Low Balls, despite deferring so much farm to Karthus, has a minion kill edge on Cloud Templar. They need to force a team fight almost at some point because their laning phase is coming up big. Once they kill a tower, they're going to try to create action on the rest of the map. Azubu Frost is very much in stall town right now. TPA doing a fantastic job farming, especially Toys. This is a huge score for 13 minutes, 156 minions, and as you said, really going to get that item advantage soon.
Maybe he's going to go for Froggen's record. Let's see.
In the World Finals.
In the World Finals. That would be pretty ballsy play. He got the ability to go for it. Shy being aggressive on towards Stanley again there, but Stanley would quietly back away. And we see Woong, of course, taking away those golems in the bottom there. Rapid Star trying to put a bit of pressure on towards that turret. We're seeing both lanes all taking a bit of a harassment here.
Low Ball's coming around the back.
Shy is going to get pushed, and Stanley's trying to bait it in there. How's he going to go for the taunt there? Shy is just going to be let to back away. Didn't want to go for the engagement. Wasn't really sure. Spotted Rapid Star heading up the river there. Shy pulling the ward down. And we are seeing that bottom lane. They are very low. The Karthus ultimate not coming out. The sniper's going to come across. That's going to catch Mad Life. Here comes the Karthus ultimate. They might get a double kill. No. A heal comes from Woong. They saved one, but that's going to be the kill of the top lane, the bottom lane, sorry. Here we see Toys going in towards that. There's the teleport from Toys. Wall of Pain not quite landing, but Rapid Star's going to get...
Oh, Shen too!
The rebound wind goes in, and that's going to be Shen coming across. They're going to try and get out towards Shy. Rapid Star's going to get dropped. Can they take Shy down as well? They do! And it's 3 kills. Meanwhile, down the bottom, there's another trade.
That's an ace!
It's the Sona going down. They've managed to ace them 15 minutes in with nothing happening for 15 minutes. They suddenly pull off the ace all across the map.
And they take down a turret on top of everything, so that 2,000 advantage just ballooned to 5,000. Toys was the key to all that. Karthus ultimate to start it, teleport in to finish, and that is across the board coordination by TPA. Almost too hard to follow, and you can tell it caught Azubu Frost completely off guard.
It caught me off guard as well, I've got to be honest. 2-0-2 for Toys, 3-0-1 for BB, 0-1-4 for Sona, and wow. The assists and gold spreading across, which suddenly gave them that huge boost in gold. You can see it is a 6,000 gold lead. Obviously, they've built up a big lead to start with from picking up all the CS. They do manage to force down that bottom turret. They're going to pick up the dragon. That is going to give Taipei Assassins another huge lead. Can they deal with it this time, though? Azubu Frost, they had this last time, and Azubu Frost had the team come to deal with it. Can they push the pressure on Azubu Frost?
This is a much larger lead than last game. And now that they've taken the first turret down, the siege from BB's Caitlyn, especially that he has the big lead onto Woong. Now he will outrange Ezreal, and he will be the one zoning him out in team fights, unlike the Ezreal versus Vayne matchup in the last one. They need to be careful that Shy doesn't get too big because he has been farming quite well, and he's going to try to split push this top turret, but everyone is converging onto him, and he has no flash.
They're trying to collapse on him, but he's going to be leap striking straight away from that one. Shy was not going to get caught out, spotted them early enough. Have they realised that mistake is in that tri-bush? Was there a ward just below? I can't quite catch it. No, there wasn't. So it's just his spider senses ding being. They're going to take down his mid turret, Azubu Frost, though. Now Wall of Pain is not going to be enough to force him away. They will finish it off, and Woong getting the damage done. And they will back away. You could see that Stanley was heading straight up north, but getting spotted by that ward.
BB's got to be careful up here in the top lane. If Mad Life lands a root, they will be able to kill him.
Oh, and there he went through. BB baiting